So have you ever had a long car ride where you had a lot of time to talk with your spouse and do some reflection?
4 hours in a car, you gotta kill time somehow.
One way,
You can only
4 hours one
listen.
way.
You can only listen to so many podcasts.
That's right. So last week we talked about 3 ways to look at conflict.
Yeah. First one was seek to understand, not win,
The second one was to deal with my selfishness.
and then become an expert on forgiveness.
So I was just telling them that after thinking about the 3 things that we had talked about the ways to look at conflict, the challenge we gave everybody was to think about which one resonates more with you and then sit with that, but then talk with it with your spouse. So I decided to do that.
That's a lot of preamble. Were you going to talk about?
I don't really know if I want to tell you all.
I forget.
So I told Brian that the one area that I struggle with the most, which is strange to say out loud to all of you, is my selfishness. And so often and it's funny because I was thinking about, I don't think I think about it entering a conflict, but I know it's there because I think there's this underlying theme, or this underlying how I live is, how does blank affect me, and then how will I respond to it? So it's a lot of thinking about me. And so I just told him that I think a lot about myself, and
You
told you that.
Selfishness is the one.
I could go more into that, but for some reason I don't feel like telling you everything.
So that was the one that jumped out to you as you thought
Yeah.
about it and prayed about it a little more. I hadn't thought about it, but then
After
since we did
feeling
have
prompted to think about it,
then I did think about it. I think the one that I would say comes to mind for me is, I like to think I'm an expert on forgiveness, but the truth is I keep score. Like I like to think I don't hold things over you, but I'm keeping score a lot of times of like, yep, I did that one right and she did that one wrong. And I'm maybe not going to say anything about it, but I definitely keep score. So I don't think that's what being an expert on forgiveness means. So those are the things that kind of popped to mind that were the things that we were working on from last week. But this week we wanted to talk about having fun again. And I asked Andrea the question, what is the most fun you've had this year? Was that the question I asked?
This was on our 4-hour long car ride home.
Yes.
And for some reason that took me a while to think about, because I don't remember what I did yesterday, let alone what fun thing did I do in the past year. So it seemed a little overwhelming to me. But I decided to go with the first thing that popped to my head. And that was, since empty nesting, just doing some different things, just the two of us. And since you are the pickleball icon,
I appreciate you saying that.
insert my practice of roll of eyes.
Tried to roll her eyes last night. She was just doing this.
With me, I told them that I wanted to learn skills. Like, I'm like, can we just do drills instead of just every time I go play a game, I lose? Because whoever's my partner, we will lose. And
so you wanted to play pickleball more.
I wanted to play pickleball more, but I wanted to do just skills with you. So that has been a lot of fun.
So we would just go
doing drills.
The two of us, right? And we just drill pickleball.
That's my fun.
That was fun.
Pretty simple.
My favorite moment from this last year,
whole year,
was I did have to remind Andrea we went on a vacation this summer, kind of. Went up to the North Shore, north of Duluth, Minnesota, and we went on a big hike. And when we got to the top of the hike, it was almost 360-degree views. You could see Lake Superior, just beautiful views. And when you get to the top, there was some other people just resting up there. And I looked down a ways and I saw there was a guy down there, and he had hung up a bunch of like white t-shirts or a bunch of sheets or something. And I'm like, that guy sleep up here overnight? That's very strange.
You just thought there was one guy?
I thought there was a guy, and then all of these things that were hung on a line. And so about 5 minutes later, as I looked more, I realized it wasn't somebody that had hung white laundry on a line. It was actually a bunch of nuns that were sitting in a row, and they had their white, I think it's called habits, the thing that hangs off their head. And I thought they were hanging on a clothesline.
You're like, what are those? Are those bed sheets?
No, those are
That
nuns.
does not make sense at all.
So
And
that
our
was
family
my
can be pretty
that was my
loud.
favorite. That was my favorite day from
So I
the
hope they
session.
didn't hear us talking about them.
So here's our challenge for you. Think through, hey, what's been the most fun you've had in the last year with your partner, with your spouse? And then what's one way that you can challenge yourselves again to have fun here in the next month? It's almost November. So the next month, have fun. How are you going to do it?
What are we gonna do?
It's going to be great.
We'll let you know.
We're going to crash a party of nuns. It's going to be amazing.
I don't know how to respond to that.
All right. See you later.
All right, bye.